The room was silent except for the gentle hum of the refrigerator. The air hung heavy with unspoken tension. Anna stared at the worn table in front of her, her fingers nervously tracing the grooves. She couldn't bring herself to speak, the words catching in her throat like a fishbone. Across from her, her father Richard sat motionless, his face as impassive as a stone statue. It had been 3 days since she'd told him about the fight. 3 days since she'd confessed her need for space, for understanding. But instead of empathy, she'd received threats. Not harsh words, not angry outbursts, but veiled warnings that chilled her to the bone. "If you think running away will solve everything, you're mistaken," he'd said, his voice dangerously calm. "There are consequences for your actions. I won't allow you to drag our family name through the mud." Now here they were in this sterile white room, the walls closing in on her like a coffin. Outside, the sun was shining, birds were singing, but Anna felt trapped in a cage of her own making. The phone on the table vibrated, startling her. Her father's face remained unchanged, but Anna knew that call had come from the private investigator he'd hired to find her. She could practically hear his triumphant smirk as he reported back, confirming her every move, confirming her defeat. But suddenly, a small smile touched Anna's lips. She reached for the phone, her fingers tightening around the cool glass. She would play along for now, let them believe they had one. After all, they were playing right into her hands. 3 days ago, she'd hoped her father would understand, that he'd support her decision to leave the engagement. But his reaction had been swift and brutal. He'd threatened to pull out the media, turn the public against her. And she knew exactly how skilled he was at that. So she'd decided to make the first move, to show him just how strong she could be. She'd called the police, accused her fiancé George of harassment. The news had spread like wildfire. Newspapers, TV screens, internet feeds. Suddenly, everyone was talking about it. Anna Reynolds, victim of domestic abuse. The sympathy poured in, but so did the offers. Job proposals, charity invitations, political endorsements. For a moment, she'd felt empowered. This was what it was like to be heard, to be supported. But then reality had sunk in. These people weren't interested in her story. They wanted a piece of the action. They wanted her pain to become profit. And now her father was calling, offering her a deal. "Stay with us, accept the engagement, and we'll handle the PR crisis. Or leave and face the media storm alone." Anna's gaze hardened. She would play their game, but she'd play it her way. She accepted their offer, returned to the mansion, prepared to take on the world. But as she sat there waiting for her father, she couldn't shake off a sense of unease. Was she really doing the right thing? Would she be trading one gilded cage for another? She thought of the cozy apartment, the laughter echoing in the halls, the warmth of true friendship. Could she give all that up? Could she once again live a life dictated by others? A life where smiles were painted on and tears were hidden behind a veil? Anna didn't have an answer. All she knew was that she was just a pawn in a game far bigger than her. A game where love was currency and trust was a luxury.